does that person have low self-esteem? Low self-esteem.
Our esteem is high. We are WHTG, IHTG, Boss FM, the hashtag.
You're listening to The Shake Up, your number one mobile morning show.
It is The Shake Up. Alex the Great.
Yours truly, MJ.
All right, and so we told you right before the break that other things in the news, it is time for us to have that discussion. We've been talking about it. I have put my thoughts on pause because I wanted to process it. I also wanted to do adequate research and then kind of assess my feelings on everything that's going on. So two things. Nate Parker has been in the news pretty seriously. And if you don't know Nate Parker, he's been in a lot of films. He's also in, I was rewatching an old show that I really like, The Unit. He had a role in The Unit, but he's been in all these shows. He's done all this work, but most notably at the last Sundance Film Festival, he wrote, produced, starred in, and created The Birth of a Nation that was picked up for $135 million from Fox Searchlight. And it's slated to be one of the big, first of all, it's the largest purchase from a movie studio from a film festival ever.
Right.
But it's slated to be one of the most a huge bombshell of a film coming in the next year. So he's faced a lot of scrutiny because of an incident that happened in 1999. And so the details from this incident, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase them. I've done a lot of research on this, but he and another one of his friends were charged with the rape of a female student that they went to college with. The charges against him were dropped because of a technicality. That technicality being that he specifically had a sexual relationship with her before. That's what so a lot of people are like, well, there was a technicality or the charges were dropped. He's not guilty. I'm not saying he is or he isn't. Right. I'm giving you the facts. So the the technicality for him, because his best friend, who also co-wrote Birth of a Nation with him, spent a few months in jail. After the incident, Nate Parker transferred away from the university. But the family of the rape victim, or the victim that alleged the rape, said that she was never the same after that. She could not cope. She couldn't deal with society. She removed herself from society. And a few years later, she committed suicide. And so, and she just, and that part just came out. And Nate Parker just found out. He said, his heart goes out to the family. Yeah, a lot of people did not know, but she committed suicide. I think it was 3 years ago. I'm trying to get my facts back up, but I really spent some time kind of reading this story so that I could have an adequate understanding. And you and I had this conversation last week. Are there different types of rapists? Like,
we were saying, like, are there different
levels? Are there levels to this thing? Because I think we came to the same conclusion. Rape is rape, but there's a malicious type of rape. Yeah, it's the intent behind it. Was that his intent?
And let's look before anybody.
And I'm not victimizing. I'm not dehumanizing. Like, I'm not
mixes up our words. And we mean there's different levels, and this is
because I already know y'all gonna be in the comments for this. Right. I'm not here.
Come for me, and you gonna get all of this.
Keep your comments.
So when we say the intent behind it, we mean, let's say it's a difference between somebody, even if you know the person and you're taking advantage of them because they're drunk.
Even if you've had a previous sexual relationship with them.
And you're taking advantage of them because they're drunk, even if you had a previous sexual relationship, or if you don't know the person, it's just somebody random off the street and you just come and assault them and attack. That's rape. That's one level. Now, if you've had a previous sexual relationship with this person, and one night you decided you want to do something different, like this may be your spouse, your significant other, you decide you want to do something different, not knowing that, hey, they don't really like this. They could say that it was rape. But that's not the intent that you had behind this. That's what we mean by different levels. It's the intent behind it. It's different situations. We both know that some females can just think that they might have been raped, and they haven't. Some females, haven't at all. I don't mean like maybe they misconstrued what their sex was. Some females can get, and not even females. Let me not say females. People.
Right.
Some people can be intoxicated, be so inebriated that they don't even know what happened. They think they were raped when nothing happened, or it's just a lot of different factors into it. That's what we mean by levels. That's what we mean by the intent behind it. So y'all won't come and try to mix up our words. That is exactly what we mean. It's the intent behind it. So, I did see the main problem here is everyone has a problem with Nate Parker being an iconic figure and representing.
Because this happened.
Right. Because of this situation. What everybody has not everybody. What a lot of people have a problem doing is separating an actor from a person. Perfect example. Like, bruh. Everybody relates Tisha Campbell to Gina. Still to this day.
And you to her.
Everybody
you being her daughter.
Everybody right. Everybody is excited that Holly is dead. Everybody. If you watch Power, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody is excited. Like, no, in real life, who would be excited that somebody is dead besides George Zimmerman? Let's be clear. So,
I mean,
like,
and we know
yes, we
some
know
of the
this
things
is
that
a
we
fictional
watch they desensitize and dehumanize from real life situations.
Exactly.
So sometimes that really does happen.
Right.
Let's be real about that.
Yeah, it does. But we know that Power is a fictional TV show. So I don't even know the actress who plays Holly. I don't know her real name. If sometimes people may see her in something else and they might be mad and be like, oh, that's Holly. She's not Holly. She's whoever she is and whatever she's playing now. Okay? So.
Well, Jack Bauer is always going to be Jack Bauer. To me,
see,
and then the first black president of the United States was President David Palmer. So,
all right,
who also now does ads for Allstate, and that's going to be what it is.
Okay, so people don't agree with Nate Parker playing this iconic figure of Nat Turner and him having this past song. I think
this is the same way people view Cosby. Though.
I was just
let's just be honest. Let's be honest.
That's exactly
but does an allegation? None of us were there. None of us were there. And I say this all the time, and I think it's a result of me doing this job. Really, I think me doing this job, people. I've literally seen people have vendettas against me for no reason, like people that don't know me. I've also been told, like, people like, oh, I just don't, they start talking about your mindset and who you are. Like, what you know of me is what you either see, you watch this show, or you listen to me, or you followed me for X amount of years, but you know my public persona. You don't know me. So we don't know. Does an allegation disqualify me from living my life? And I'm not saying I'm not saying is this didn't happen. I'm not saying that he's not guilty. I'm not saying any of this. I'm not even saying that I side with it, because there's a lot of views that he has that I don't agree with at all. Like I just think that the way that we attack people without facts. And some people are like, I sat there and I read the 37 pages. The 37 pages was just released of what happened in that court case. I didn't have time to read all 37 pages. I read a lot of sources that kind of paraphrased it, did my own research, and drew my own conclusion. And I have one. I'm not even sure if I'm going to share. Yeah, I will. But I think that we cannot be quick to jump. That because people get in situations with people, we never know where people are. I think and that is why I think a more compelling reason that you don't need to be having sex with a whole bunch of people is because you really don't know the mental state of all of those people. You really don't know their background. You don't know what's going on with them. You don't know what can transfer to you. You don't know what type of connection can happen. You don't know what type of drama or bullshit you are going to have for the rest of your life because you put your dick in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying? At the wrong time. And I think that men never hear that. Like, if somebody could tell me again what I need to hear, don't put your dick in the wrong place because you don't know what that will bring. Forget the disease. You don't know what type of baggage you're going to attach to yourself. And we think, as men, we do think with that head more often than we do with the one that sits on top of our shoulders. We just do. That doesn't make it right. I think that in this situation, though, it's hard to gauge what really happened. And of course, we call this America. You're judged by a jury of your peers.
Exactly. Before you're found innocent or guilty in a court of law, you're already judged by your peers. Again, like I said, people have a hard time separating the two. I seen one of the most ignorant comments. I have to go back and find it about what this girl said on Twitter. I have to go find it and see exactly what she said, because this was a prime example of how people, I think she was just slow. She was like slow, but people do have a hard time separating actors from who they are. Maybe, and
I don't even think that's surprising though.
But, I mean, it's getting to this point where they're like, no, because that's who they're going to be known for. They're going to be known for this, so they should be this, that, and this. I don't know what happened with Bill Cosby. I wasn't there. I don't know. I can give you my opinion on if I think something happened, but...
Listen,
doesn't matter.
You take any sexual allegation that has been thrown into the media, you don't know. You really don't know one way or the other.
Again, yeah, it doesn't even matter because I wasn't there, so I don't know. But Heathcliff Huxtable was who he was. I want people to understand that he was who he was, and I don't know.
Heathcliff Huxtable was not a real person.
That's my point.
I got you.
That's my point.
That's what I'm trying to make sure everyone else is getting. Come on now. Like, I think, though, again, I'm going to ask this question again. Does an allegation prevent you from being, because like I can just read you the headlines that are looming right now. The New York Times, The Birth of a Nation, Nate Parker, The Birth of a Nation, Nate Parker's
the story of Nat Turner to be released.
Heralded film is now cloaked in controversy. From the LA Times, a decades old college rape case cast a cloud over Oscar hopeful Nate Parker. From Variety, Nate Parker's rape trial. The accuser committed suicide in 2012. These are all headlines, from, and I'm getting all sorts of alerts still, and we're being inundated with these alerts so that we can now focus on this man's past. And a lot of times, like, people don't, it's going to be hard for me to relay this even to our listener base, because people don't understand that once you are under some type of spotlight, that's when all the vetting and vendettas come out. Think about people that run for president. They are going back and talking to people you went to 5th grade with. That is not who you were.
People always say, bro, that's why I tell people, look, let me tell y'all something. because I'm not the person who I want to be yet, because I feel like I have a bright future and I have so many things I want to do, y'all don't know how much that saves your asses. Y'all really do not know how much that saves your asses from me showing out. From me, if I wanted to just be chill and work like a typical 9 to 5 or not even be shit in life, I'm telling y'all, a lot of decisions that I make now is because of I know that it can be dug up in the future. People already telling me they holding on to pictures, waiting to sell them. They wait until the day where they can sell pictures. Brian, I believe them too. That's why, no, you can't. No. This is why you don't do certain things. You don't let people know certain things. This is why. Because we all know, unfortunately, it's like this. So, I want y'all to troll. I'm going to tell y'all her Twitter name. It's @
Why are you doing this to her?
What? Come on.
Why are you doing this to her?
Come on over Val. That's _ COMMONOVERVAL. So she says, why are you celebrating a rapist? Just because he's a black historical figure. So, this is what happens when you too woke. Like, you so woke that you really need to take a nap. But did you hear what I just said?
Yeah. First of all,
did you hear what I just said that she said?
Yeah. First of all,
why are you celebrating a rapist just because he's a black historical figure?
First of all,
see, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know.
She's muddied the water. She is. She's a little slow there. She's the waters are muddy. She doesn't understand. She can't distinguish Nate Parker from Nat Turner. Nate like, Parker, come on.
Maybe it's because their name sounds similar.
Come on. It's not. It's
when
not.
You say it real
it's
fast,
not the
maybe
same.
It's because listen.
I'm really upset that you just put her on blast
Nat
like
Turner
that.
Turner is a completely different person. Nate Parker is telling the story. Nate Parker is an actor telling the story of Nat Turner. Let's be clear.
Well,
Nate Parker is not Nat Turner.
What I have to do is
Nat Turner is Nat Turner.
What I have to do is shed light on the other things. See, and Nate Parker has said some things that have people giving him the major side eye because some people are saying, "Well, this film is coming out. They don't want the story told." Nate Parker is actually the victim, and they're forgetting about the girl. Let me be very clear because I know, like you said, how people like to twist words. Something happened and this girl's life was traumatized by it. That is something that people should be concerned about. That's where we miss it. That's in anything. Something happened. She was traumatized. Ultimately, she took her life. Right. There was something going on. We should have valid concern about that. People are upset because Nate Parker said in a interview with Variety, 17 years ago, I experienced a very painful moment in my life. It resulted in it being litigated. I was cleared of it. That's that. 17 years later, I'm a filmmaker. I have a family. I have 5 beautiful daughters. I have a lovely wife. I get it. The reality is I can't relive 17 years ago. All I can do is be the best man I can be now. And he did that. He said he had another interview with Deadline, and he basically said the same things. And there's no acknowledgement, that that something happened. I was cleared of it. That's all y'all need to know. Let me go. This is to the point that people think, maybe he's saying I'm a changed man. There's only think about the society that we live in. How much can you actually say that doesn't get picked apart? But people are really feeling that his comments are so nonchalant, as in he feels like, look, I may have done it. I got away with it. It's over. I was acquitted. Leave me alone. That's all. That's all. And you know the society we live in. People aren't just going to leave that alone. No one's going to just leave that alone, MJ. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. And I feel like that's why people have some people have horrible PR. Just horrible PR, horrible publicity. And I think what happens is that in these situations, people get so prideful, they forget. And I feel like, and I have said this in so many situations. I've said it with Bill Cosby. I'll say it with Nate Parker. I said it with Eddie Long. Regardless of, I said this, regardless of whether you feel like you did something wrong or not, the humble side of that is you taking it and saying, okay, somebody was hurt. That's what I just said. Somebody was hurt. I am sorry that you were hurt. And I'm sorry if something I did, even though I was found not guilty, I'm sorry if something I did hurt you this way. An apology goes so much further, and I feel like that is a humility that people don't have.
Feel like
that's
an
not
apology is an admittance to.
It's not though.
To being guilty.
Apologies breed freedom. That's what I feel like. Like you.
Well, some people, society feels like that too. The same court of our peers who judge us, they feel like that too. Some of them feel like that too. Like, because let's say, again, I'm not saying this is what happened. Let's just say, because we know it does happen, that I'm not even going to say the scenario. I'm going to say a different scenario. That it was a girl who made up that she was raped because she was mad. Maybe she was rejected or she wanted attention. Let's just say that happened. So think about what somebody, think about what somebody would look like apologizing. Knowing that they have no idea what this person is talking about. And that they know good and well that they weren't. Let's just say, like, what do you think somebody would actually be willing to say sorry? For something that they didn't do?
You're right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes saying sorry, like,
it's not necessarily
like
you saying sorry for what you didn't do, though. Like, I mean, think about it. It's sorry for your pain.
Some people can't even look at it like that. But the thing is, what if you are completely innocent? What pain do you think that person? Actually, you're putting me through pain. So what pain are you actually going through? That's what I'm saying.
I see your point.
And if sometimes people really feel like, if you really, even if you did something and if it was misconstrued, remember we talked about the intent behind it and the levels. Let's say they had a previous relationship, or this was somebody that you're currently in a relationship now, and your intent was pure. It wasn't anything that they were thinking. It wasn't what they thought it was. And you feel like you apologizing or saying sorry, that's you admitting it. Admitting that you did wrong. And because you're doing that, you know that some people think like, oh, you said sorry. That's the same reason why people who are going through a court trial will not say. It's a lot of people in jail that will say, I'm never going to admit. A lot of reasons why some people who are not innocent don't take plea bargains. If I admit that I'm innocent, I'm guilty, that's exactly the label that I'm going to have. That's exactly what people are going to think of me. Regardless of why I'm doing it, I'm going to take this plea bargain because there's no way I was just in this, something happened to where I was in a situation, wrong time, wrong place, and I'm being found guilty of something that I didn't do. And I know I'm going to be found guilty, so I'm going to take this plea bargain, this plea deal, so I can get a lighter sentence. But we know it's people who are in jail that are innocent, completely innocent.
Absolutely.
And some people will just still not take the plea deal because they don't even want that label on them.
And that's what we see
That's
in the case of Cosby. He took some deals, but there was some that he wouldn't settle. I think I just want to get the rest of some of these facts out. So, in this case, the 18-year-old woman who accused Parker and Celestine, that was his friend, of raping her in their apartment. After that night of drinking, the charges were dropped against Parker in 2001. Celestine was convicted only to have the conviction overturned with no retrial because the retrial would have required the accuser to testify again, and she didn't want to go through that again. So he was actually, after the retrial, he was released as well. So Parker got off because of the technicality of she admitted that they had consensual sex before. That's one technicality. And so people that are concerned more so about her than anything else, they're looking at these technicalities, and it's like the arrogance and the gall of these men to be choosing their words so lightly later on because they got off on this technicality when they know that what they did was probably wrong. And I think that's why people take issue with it. Mm-hmm. The question that I want out there, and a question I think we feel like we need to answer, does that mean, what can we do about it now? A. B, does that take away from who he is today? Some people would say yes. Like, and I'm asking it in a way not to make you feel like you have to agree with me, but some people would say yes, it absolutely does take away.
That he didn't make right with what happened in the past. That may be because let's just say even if he admitted and he said he was sorry, people are still even people who feel like God should forgive them of their sins. They don't feel like these people should be forgiven. They don't. I know it's some people who are still young. Even if he said he was guilty, he's changed his life, he's become this person, people would still be like, I don't know how y'all can support this rapist. Even though he was so sorry, he went through rehabilitation, he got counseling, he got help, and all. I don't know. People would still label him as this.
So my question becomes then, MJ, does an apology ever matter?
I don't know.
You know, and some people are calling it
some
people are calling it an apology. Some people are saying it was 480 words and not an apology at all. Obviously, my job here is to give you all perspectives. You do what you want with this. I think, you know, I've seen comments like, so he's a rapist, he's a homophobe. Like, what? There are people, and I see these people have these biases. Like, we say that this is a country where you can believe what you want to believe, be who you want to be, say what you want to say. But there are certain groups that will attack you regardless of. Like, my thing is, and I had this conversation with a pastor friend of mine. She was telling me, like, it's interesting that people on both sides cannot see, like, you want these freedoms for you, but you can't accept somebody else that has the same freedoms, even if they don't like if it's not the same as you. Exactly. Like, you are like, well, I mean, even like, let's talk about gays. Well, I'm gay. Everybody should just love me because I'm gay. People can love you and not agree with it. Well, you're wrong because you don't agree. You're a homophobe because you don't agree. You're not a homophobe because you don't agree. You just don't damn agree. Are you a heterophobe because you don't agree with that? Like, what the hell? What? Like, and this is what I'm saying. We live in a society where there are double standards. Yeah. We have to accept that. Is his apology worth anything, or is it worthless? We're so out of time, and I feel like we got in this way too late, but we had other things.
It's cool because we're still gonna hit. I still want to hit Ellen.
All right. So when we come back, we're gonna talk Ellen DeGeneres, and for some odd reason, which again, I don't even think this has anything to do with double standards. I think it has to do with uninformed Negroes.
Yes, we're gonna talk about her and all the backlash she's been getting for this Photoshop picture of her on the back of Usain Bolt, and what everybody had to say about it.
I want to say this also. A lot of people, you're hitting me about Nate Parker. You have thoughts about it. Feel free. You can tweet me. I'll even, at this point, I feel like this is not going to go away, so we may have to revisit this again. Send me an email, because I know some of you, like, the tweets are coming so fast, you can't even get all of it out. I'm not going to go and read all of these mentions. I'm telling you now. You can send me an email. AlexTheGreat@ShakeUpAM.com. All right. From that,
Shake Up. When we come back, again, we'll talk Ellen. If you have any comments on either situation, Ellen or Nate. Look, I'm about to say
we
Nat
might
Turner.
have time to get you
I was
in.
about to say Nat Turner. Ellen or Nate Parker. 1-844-99-SHAKE.
You're listening